Morlock readies himself for another magic spell, but he forgot the incantations again. When Relza is about to take down the enemies again, Sato jumps in and reminds Morlock of the rest of the incantation. Morlock finishes his incantation and wipes out all the enemies in one swoop. Everyone praises Sato for remembering the incantations in case Morlock needs someone to remind him. In a way, Sato earned the title of a mage's assistant. Later on, the team finds another treasure, so Sato takes a crack at it. Sato accidentally triggers the lock's detection system, and it drops the ground Sato was sitting on, landing him into a dark and wet abyss. Sato, with a broken leg and no way out, waits for his ultimate demise, dying alone in a dark pit as he knows his party will leave him. After all, that's how his previous life was when Sato's boss fired him because he saw no value in Sato and saw him as replaceable. Just as he's about to give in, he sees a light coming from a distance, and it was his party looking for him. He becomes surprised as he didn't expect them to go out of their way for him, but they reassured him that he is a crucial person in their party, and he is irreplaceable. Sato appreciates the kind words, and as Relza helps walk him out of the pit, Sato reflects on his new life and how he is grateful for his new life aside from his old one. Sato and his party engage themselves in a fight against an eel monster. Sato takes the front and fights the eel monster straight on, as Morlock supports him with his magic in the back along with Lafa, who is supporting Morlock's back, literally. Normally, Relza would be the one in the front rear fighting the monster, but she has a phobia of eels, so she sets herself aside in shame. This is quite unlike her, as well as the thief being the fighter instead. After the eels have been killed, Sato asks his party if they're interested in having eel for lunch, but Morlock, Relza, and Lafa give out a strong no because when they tried it before, it tasted awful. Sato has a plan, so he goes to meet Mavina and asks for assassin needles. She assumes Sato is going to wipe out Relza, but he insists he isn't targeting her, or anyone for that matter. Sato gets the needles and starts to cook the eel. As the rest of the party watch in amusement, Sato educates them that the reason why their taste experience was bad was that eels do have fat that is disgusting to eat, thus why cooking away the fat is necessary for a good taste experience. When the cooked eel is ready, Lafa and Morlock try a piece, and they find it quite delectable. Relza still refuses to try, but when Lafa asks if she's not going to eat Sato's cooking, her opinion of him gets the better of her, and she reluctantly tries it and also finds it tasty. Sato and his party went on another dungeon adventure, and when they find a chest, Sato takes the time to inspect it before picking the lock. As a thief, he knows that treasure chests have the potential to set up traps from poison gas to actual bombs. Sato sees that the chest is a trap, so he decides to leave it alone. As the team leaves in disappointment, Sato reassures himself that this is for the best as he must know when a chest is worth the trouble or not, even if the journey to get there is long and unbearable. When the team finds another chest, Sato knows that to deactivate the trap and get the treasure, he must clip away 2 of the 3 wires correctly. He manages to get the first cut correct, but when he cuts the second one, he gets it wrong, activating an attack from above. Relza gets ambushed by a slime that eats away metal, and as Relza's attire is mainly armor, her womanly figure makes an appearance. At least, Lafa tries to complement her bust size, but it doesn't seem to help the awkward situation. In another part of the dungeon, another duo, Franlil, an elf fighter, and Ninia, a human priestess, are traveling together until they encounter a swarm of enemies. Franlil fights them using physical attacks instead of magic, although all elves are supposed to be able to use magic. Franlil is an exception, so she finds an alternative to be a fighter instead. When Ninia tends to Franlil's injuries, she secretly wishes that Franlil would get more injuries so she could have an excuse to heal her and be close to her. This is a combination of being a blood fetishist and showing affection to Franlil as a potential lover. Moving on, the king of the land is hiring a hero to take down the demon king that will take over the kingdom if not dealt with. With no applicants interested, the king has no choice but to deal with. Long after the king left, a coup appeared in the throne room, with thieves threatening the minister to allow them inside the vault. When the king returned, he asked the minister to explain why there were frozen people in the throne room. The minister disregards them and tells the king not to worry as the waste removal people will come to dispose of them. The king says that the demon king was not much of an issue, while he is in a chess match with the same demon king. The demon king asks why he isn't executed yet, and the king explains how he sees him as a conversation partner. As a result, the king assigned the demon king to be his new general pretending to be a human. Back at Sato's party, Morlock asks Lafa to heal her back. After he said he doesn't have any money left, Sato and Relza offer to pay for his healing costs. Sato has a private chat with Relza discussing how greedy Lafa is. Relza takes Sato to spy on Lafa, giving away her gold as an offering to the moon goddess. Relza enlightens Sato that the moonlight fairies were one the size of a human.